Soy Trek, bitch.
Welcoming.
This is the official ShamWow podcast. Today we'll be cleaning up spills, messes, and might have a surprise or two in store for you as well. Maybe we'll be cleaning up a big pile of sloppy semen. Maybe.
Along with our in-depth review of movie 43.
You mean inappropriate comedy or the underground comedy film?
That's what I meant. Oh
yeah,
my God.
Yeah.
All those movies are the same.
Yeah. I think movie 43 was done by one of the Zuckers though.
Really?
Yeah.
Let me check. That makes sense.
Yeah. I mean, once you take the Zuckers away from each other, they just make bad shit. Like, you gotta have the Zuckers together.
They just start zuckering in themselves and they get away from each other.
They remove a rib so they can zuck themselves off.
Well, if it isn't the Zucker brothers.
Mm-hmm.
If I see two guys in any context whatsoever.
Yeah, I like that.
Directors Elizabeth Banks, Stephen Carr, Stephen Brill.
For movie 43?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, it has multiple directors.
Okay. Yeah, because it's like...
James Gunn.
James Gunn has a second one there?
And Brett Ratner.
Ratner, the Rat Man. Infamous, probably sexual assaulter. The Rat Man.
Yep. The Rat Man.
The Rat Man.
I mean, it's Hollywood.
It's
Hollywood. Who isn't?
Very good question.
Rat Man.
Yeah. So, what's new besides the Rat Man?
Jesus. Just can't believe like November's already over. Honestly, like it's almost over. Like, I was just like, ugh. It's like it's just.
It's the passage of time, my friend. It's the passage of time. It seems to get shorter every year, but that's just the process of aging.
Oh God.
We're all getting older. We're all dying slowly. A slow descent into the grave. This is the Pessimism Podcast. Welcome. I guess I'm Britton Straw. Who cares?
And I'm Pat.
Yep. That's life. Hey, did you know that we have a Patreon?
I did, actually.
Yeah, over at patreon.com/dumbidiotbs. And what, you may ask, is Dumb Idiot BS? Well, it is the little company that handles all of our media, including the Media Dungeon podcast, which is our movie podcast, Soy Trek, which is the podcast you're listening to, a Marxist podcast about Star Trek. We also got Prison Breakdown, a academic podcast about carceral research. Yeah, so over on our Patreon at patreon.com/dumbidiotbs, you can get a whole lot of cool shit. What can you get, you may ask? Well, for as little as $2 a month, you can help us be editorially independent and ad-free at all times. Guess what else you help us do? Well, you help yourself getting all the episodes at once, like right when I finish them, instead of having to wait for them like everyone else. You get them in higher quality than anyone else. Yeah, you get our backlog of over 500 episodes of various podcasts. Tons of stuff to listen to there. I mean, I actually have podcasts going back to 2008. 2008. I've been podcasting for 16 years, people. Yeah. I'm a real Mark Maron, real trendsetter there. You can also vote on what we watch on either Soy Trek or the Media Dungeon every week on our Patreon for as little as $2 a month. For $5 a month, we give you a shout out and say thank you to people just like Nathan G. Papa Poison Awful Star Trek Drawings, Jose Martinez, Gabe Siciliano, Robert Yolito, Asher Pliskin, Ethan Adams, Iggy, Abigail Simpson, Vinny Gursky, Jormore, Kyle Simmons, Nick Savard, Shane Sawyer, Anthony Cabrera, Seb, Phil McCavity, Danny, Dylan Lands, Jordan Hale, Elizabeth Hearn, Luna Dahlia, Professor David Craning Sights, Electric Baphomet, Dandy Leone, Beefleg, Teddy, Jody, Trimp God, Shane Williams, Sam Mayo, Locke Fanile, Skeptic, Gillian McCrary, SFC Punk, 7 of 9, Star Trek Enjoyer, D. Riker, Former Twink, and our good friends over at the Hate Speech Podcast. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for supporting us. For $10 a month, you can get access to the motherfucking
Media Dungeon, Media Dungeon, Media Dungeon.
That's my private server with over 20,000 films, over 1,700 shows. It's just got a lot of shit on it. It's so much cool stuff. Although one of my hard drives seems to have gone down recently. I need to figure that out. But that's okay. It's 1 out of 8 hard drives. So, it's split up between a bunch of stuff. Not that media has been lost.
It's still there somewhere floating in the ether.
Indeed. In my ether rag that I'm going to go snort on right now.
Leave the rag.
Podcast. Podcast.
Ethercast.
Welcome to the Ethercast. My name's Brittany. Today we're going to talk about what the best rags are to use for ether. I personally use a ShamWow because this is the ShamWow podcast. Welcome back.
It's the combination ether podcast, ShamWow podcast,
yeah,
movie 43/inappropriate comedy podcast.
You mean underground comedy film? We're not talking about movie 43 in here. Yeah. Pretty cool people. For $20 a month, you get access to merch every single month. Send out merch. This month, this next 2 months, or November and December, I'm going to be combining them because I'm going to be sending out something a little pricier than usual, something that's going to cost more than the $20 to get out. So,
Ooh.
Yeah. Cool.
Get a little something.
Mm-hmm. But yeah, that's that. So please go over to patreon.com/dumbidiotbs. Check it out. Help support us. We'd really appreciate it, and we really appreciate you. Thank you so much, everybody. Give us a little tickle on the... And thanks for giving us a little tickle on the dickle, if you know what I mean. I'm sorry for that. It's the ether talking, folks. It's the ether talking.
Yeah. Tonight we let the ether do the talking.
Bottle of clear, bottle of white, depends on what mood you're in tonight. We love us some Billy Joel, don't we, folks?
Oh, yeah.
That bottle of clear is the bottle of ether, by the way. That's scenes from Scenes from an Italian's House. That's what that name of that song is. Yeah, what's
Scenes from an Italian's house.
Mm-hmm. What's new? What's new with you, dog? What's going on?
Yeah, ramping up for Thanksgiving, I guess. Got the roast, from getting that, and got a couple more days, so it's gonna be nice. It's gonna be nice. How about yourself?
Stuff's happening. Lots of union stuff at work right now because the management is incompetent. So I got to deal with that. I mean, not just incompetent, like
incompetent management. You must be joking.
Yeah, no, I mean not just that. They're like aggressive and violent. Yeah. Not a great situation to be in as a steward, having to deal with that, because like no matter what I do, like I don't know, I feel like I'm not doing enough because I just don't have the time to like address every single thing. Kind of sucks. Makes me really wish, like, I don't know, back in the day unions were strong, and by strong I mean they had fucking baseball bats with nails in them, and they threw bricks with threatening notes through managers' windows telling him to back the fuck off. And like, and so the managers worried for their safety. We're in a workplace where we worry for our own safety, but the managers don't worry for their safety, which is a fundamental like disconnect between management, because like if the workers fear for their safety, the management better fear for their safety as well. That's only fucking fair. Like I wish we could have an amicable workplace, but since we can't, I need the management to fear. So I'm doing the best I can.
Every single one of you.
Strike fear into their sad little black hearts.
They will know the new depths of fear than within them.
I
want everyone to be afraid of me at my job, but I think they are. Everyone's afraid to talk to me now because I'm just in a bad mood all the time.
Old Grumpy Pat. Oh, who that? Should I go talk to her? I'm a new coworker here. No, don't go talk to him. That's Grumpy Pat. Grumpy Pat's a big grumpy dump. He'll take a dump on your shit and fuck it too. Wait, what?
You heard him.
He'll go into the bathroom right after you're done and be like, "Don't you dare motherfucking flush. I'm gonna take a dump right on your shit."
I'm sometimes tempted to do that, actually.
So I think the biggest power move ever is if you're in a bathroom and you notice someone's in a stall, like sitting down, just like go up and whisper, like in between the crack in the stall, be like, "Don't you dare flush."
Keep that shit in the bowl. So I can look at it.
I want to see what you made.
It's just like, it's a little like competition to see, all right, who had the biggest one.
It's always a competition. That's life, brother.
Just give away a Best Buy gift card. Whoever has it.
You should put up a flyer in the stall. Do not flush. We're having a competition, and just lay out the fucking rules. Anyone caught flushing will be penalized.
If it cannot be determined by size, it will have to come down to weight. Please bring gloves.
If functional weight cannot be determined, taste will be used as a third modifier.
Taste will be the tiebreaker. They're just like little tiny tasting spoons.
Like you're going to Baskin Robbins. What are we even talking about? Today we're here to talk about Star Trek.
Oh, yeah, Star Trek.
Yeah. This is a Star Trek podcast, I guess. So I'm told. But we're in the middle of the final season of Lower Decks season 5. And today we're here to talk about season 5, episode 6 of Gods and Angles. You heard that right? Not angels, angles.
Yeah, I knew it was. I think I follow Mike McMahon on Blue Sky.
Mm-hmm.
He was just like, "It's gonna be a math episode, everybody," and was doing a whole bunch of shape jokes and stuff. So
yeah,
I was like, "Ooh, looking forward to this episode."
Yeah, there were quite a few shape jokes. They were all right.
Yeah, there was some good shape jokes in there
here and there. So, Lower Decks season 5, episode 6 of Gods and Angles first aired on November 21st, 2024, which is yesterday to us. It is the 46th episode of Lower Decks overall of 50, and the 944th episode released overall in Star Trek. Getting close to that 1,000 marker, folks. Getting closer.
Wow.
Every day. Not every day, every week. But
then one day we can all just go through and watch every single one once it gets to 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
Start straight from the beginning.
Hell yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's a podcast that's doing that right now. And I take mercy on their souls.
Not on their holes, but on their souls.
Yeah. On their holes as well. I mean, their holes are probably going to be pretty wrecked after TOS season 3. That's usually what does it for me. That blew me out. Made it a pink sock, baby. So this episode was written by Aaron Burnett, who also wrote "I Have No Bones, Yet I Must Flee" from season 4, and Dos Cerritos. Yeah, that was I think the Moopsie episode, right? Moopsie.
Mm-hmm. Oopsie, yeah.
And also Dos Cerritos from the beginning of this season. He also used to write for UCB, which is pretty cool. This one's directed by Brandon Williams, who has been a storyboard artist on Lower Decks for a couple seasons, and also Solar Opposites, and this is his very first directing gig.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, so congratulations to Mr. Williams. I assume Mr. Sorry if I assumed Mr. wrong. Brandon's not really a girl name. Or a non-binary name. Really just a guy name, right?
Yeah, it's just a name for guys who want to be dudes.
Yeah, absolutely. I know some Brandons in my life, and they're all guys and dudes. Not a single exception. So, ready to jump into this bitch?
I am.
So, we open on a first officer's log from Ransom. The Cerritos is in a nebula where they've been hosting peace talks between the orbs and the cubes, two photonic species made of pure energy. They've been at war since their nebulas collided a century ago. Also, an ensign has stacked 100 pieces of furniture on a single sled and it crashes.
Yeah, we get introduced to
Ollie.
One of our central character, our kind of central character for this episode.
I'd say so.
And already she's kind of an interesting kind of person.
You mean a fuck up?
Weird laurel.
Yeah. She's got this weird laurel crown, like a Roman emperor would wear. That's just on her head at all times. It's part of her thing. So that's the cold open. We get credits at 1 minute and 30 seconds. Very, very short cold open. Cool. When we return, Freeman is talking to Mariner about the peace between the cubes and orbs when Ransom comes out and complains about the new ensign, Ollie, doing everything wrong. He also thinks that she's stealing his kettlebells, and he can't make gains without kettlebells, which I thought was pretty fun.
I was hoping that was also going to maybe it did. Maybe I missed it. I was hoping that the kettlebells were going to return.
No, they should have done something with the orbs and the kettlebells. I think that would have been fun. But
yeah, like using the kettlebells to like incapacitate them or something.
Yeah. So Ensign Ollie has been transferred from a reformed Maquis Starfleet ship for some kind of electrical issue and a disagreement with leadership. She's also a demigod, the daughter of Zeus, who Captain Kirk defeated in TOS episode 4 from season 2, Who Mourns for Adonis.
Who Mourns for Adonis. Did we do that episode on here?
We didn't. We did Who Mourns for Morn, I think, but not Who Mourns for Adonis.
Oh, yeah.
So Freeman wants to transfer her off of the ship, but Mariner insists on helping her out. That's real nice, Mariner. Real nice of you. Real nice of you.
Yeah, she seems a kindred spirit with Ollie.
Yeah. Consummate fuck up as well.
Or Ollie.
Ollie. like ollieing a skateboard.
Oh yeah. Is there Ollie's outlets everywhere?
Owlies? What?
Ollie's outlets.
What's an Ollie's outlet? I don't know what you're talking about.
Maybe it's just here. Like I've been seeing. I couldn't remember if they were in Washington. They're just like this.
Oh no! I've been there. Outlet. The discount store with Ollie's Army.
Yeah.
Oh, I've been there. It's like, fucking weird, man. They've got a really large book section, and it's all like Christian romance novels about like Amish girls falling in love. It's super fucking weird.
Yeah, it's basically just like they just get whatever like falls off the back of a truck. It seems because like everything in there is completely random. Yeah,
it's all like faded American flag clocks and like a bunch of like old candy. Like it's really like the strangest store I've ever been in. And the rewards program is called Ollie's Army. And I have a lot of questions about Ollie's Army. Like, do they wage war? Are they like, what do they do during peacetime? I don't like.
I kind of feel like the store is completely stocked by like when shipping containers, shipping boats come from like China, and they capsize in the ocean.
Yeah,
and then there's this like Ollie, I guess, is a guy who just collects whatever like shipping containers float to the surface, and he just collects those and then sells them in his stores.
That sounds about right. Yeah. No, it's all like the weirdest goods. It's like the stuff that like came off the dock at like Ross Dress for Less, and they're like, no, that's too weird to have in our home goods section. And it's like, what? All right.
And like Batman, whenever we see like, you know, shady mobsters doing deals at the docks, like they're just like procuring like stuff where Ollie's outlets, like they're just like, yeah, give me those.
When I went there, I specifically remember like in the toothpaste aisle, they had toothpaste that was like Tangled branded, and I'm like, that movie came out like 8 years ago. Like it was what? Like how old is this shit?
It's completely solid.
Yeah, it's tooth block now. It's you try to brush your teeth with it, and it just knocks your teeth out one by one.
You have to take an X-Acto knife and just cut the outer layer off, and just like put it in your mouth and like. I just buy him sucking a dick for everyone.
Mm-hmm. So it's okay. So with Boimler, he's sitting in his bunk looking at pictures of the other Boimler, the one with a beard, when Rutherford walks in. Rutherford asks if he can use the power cell from his pad, since he's always using the alternate universe one anyway, which surprises Boimler to have his secret revealed, but it's a completely different color, so it's pretty obvious. He calls Rutherford a regular Ronald B. Moore, making jokes, and I thought that was a pretty fun Ronald D. Moore joke.
Yeah, I was just like, whoa. Like, yeah, it's kind of like, definitely, I mean, a lot of stuff in this dances the line between, like, being too meta.
Yeah. Yeah, it is almost like, and I don't know, to be honest, I didn't love this episode. It was fine. But yeah, like some of the jokes are like almost a little too deep without also without being like deep enough. Like the Ronald D. Moore thing, it doesn't really make any sense because like Ronald D. Moore is not a comedian at all. He's just a writer, and they're referencing him there like he's a comedian, and I'm like, I don't know about that. It's fine.
Well, Ronald B. Moore there was also a Ronald B. Moore. That did work on Star Trek as the visual effects producer.
Oh, really? Okay. Interesting.
Yep. Yeah.
Well, but that was a visual effects producer. Was he known to be a prankster or jokester? Like, I don't really get why they're referencing him like that, other than to just like drop the name of someone who worked on Star Trek into the episode, you know? So, Rutherford asks why he's so into that alternate universe pad anyway, and Boimler says he wants to copy the other Boimler, and Rutherford suggests that he just be himself, which is a good lesson we should all take. Copy other people. Don't be yourself. Yourself kind of sucks. I'm sorry to inform you. Unless
kind of almost though Rutherford's like other self wasn't like in that universe, like he was, basically all robot.
Right, which is pretty cool.
Yeah, that's true.
That is pretty cool.
Yeah, he kind of saw like, he's kind of like Cyborg from like from the comics. He just kind of had like a fleshy, or a RoboCop. He just had like a flesh head.
Oh, that would have been awesome if he shot a guy in the dick like RoboCop did. No reason, just shot a guy in the dick. Just awesome. Shot Ransom right in the dick. You're like, no.
Yeah. Your move, creep.
So, with Mariner, she's waiting on Ensign Ollie when T'Lyn comes in and wonders how Ensign Ollie hasn't been removed from duty yet for her multiple incidents. Ollie walks in half an hour late, and she's figured out a stability problem with a tractor beam, but it malfunctions and goes haywire in the hallway. Mariner says she loves to watch someone work so hard at being lazy, and they bond over being fuck-ups together. So that's, saw that coming, kind of. So... In a corridor, Mariner tells Ollie that they have to go babysit one of the dignitary's children, much to Ollie's chagrin. But when they walk in the room, it's trashed, and the dignitary's child is gone.
Oh no.
And there's some, like, residue on the wall, some ectoplasm. And I called this early. Like, when I saw it, I'm like, that's cum.
Yeah.
Yeah. So... Shax and Freeman come in to help investigate. Mariner notices that the kid's video screen is missing. Shax volunteers to go look for it, but he'd be too obvious since he's security, so Mariner and Ollie go look for it themselves. Over with Boimler, him and Rutherford go down to medical, and Boimler tells Tiana, who is finally in this season...
it was so funny that you mentioned that you last episode you were like, you haven't seen Shax or Tiana,
and they're both in this episode. Yeah. I mean, we've seen them both this season, but I don't think either of them has talked. I mean, Shax had like one line in like one of the episodes, but like, they've barely been in this season at all, which sucks because I like their characters a lot. Yeah,
and also I like it when they're together and being like
horny.
Being very open about the relationship. And being very horny, and then like making everyone else uncomfortable.
Yeah, that is pretty fun. Yeah, we love that. I mean,
and also like their holodeck play where they just like go on like murder.
So my question about the relationship is: at what point of sentience is it finally okay to fuck a cat?
To fuck a cat?
Yeah, to fuck a cat. Because he's fucking, Shax is fucking a cat, and everyone's, like, okay with it. Because it's, like, consensual, but, like, at what point can a cat consent to being fucked by a human?
That's true, because then you kind of have to consider, you have to go all the way back. You have to think about, like, famous talking cats.
Right. Like, if
other medias.
Right, because, like
Salem from the Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Right, so, like... If I fucked, Heathcliff, I think that'd be okay because Heathcliff is like a fully realized like cat who can talk like a human, right? But on the other hand, I don't know if it'd be okay to. I don't know, because Garfield thinks, and that's like, so he only talks in speech bubbles in the comic, and so I don't think he can actually really talk, right? And so I don't think it's okay to fuck Garfield.
No, because Garfield, that's the thing, like Garfield, he, he's speaking cat in his own head, like he's not actually like, but then again, I guess he does have a level of sentience on par with humanity.
Does he though?
He's able to outsmart John. He's able to do.
Yeah, but John's a fucking dumbass.
Oh, John is a dumbass.
Yeah.
But like, still though, you would think like, and I guess that's why like it's okay when we see, and also, but also look at like other talking animals that can be understood by humans, and like Brian from Family Guy who wants to have sex with Lois.
Yeah. I mean, that's totally.
Brian has.
a white woman having sex with a dog is never immoral or wrong.
Wait, what?
A white woman having sex with a dog is never immoral or wrong.
Sorry, keep losing a little.
Uh-oh. We got a technical difficulty, folks.
Technical difficulties.
Are you making me say this 3 times just to get it on record for the police?
Yes. Say that into my phone.
I said, a white woman.
Don't tell anybody how's that burger.
A white woman having sex with a dog is never immoral or wrong.
Oh, that's true.
Yeah. Now that I've said it 3 times, let's move on.
Yeah, we said it 3 times, so now it's like, so now it's a law.
Yeah, now it's in public record. So Tiana tells Boimler to fuck off, but he really wants to be called Flip, like the other Boimler, the alternate universe Boimler. So Boimler tries to do a backflip, but knocks over a table with a bunch of hypo spray on it, and accidentally injects himself with a bunch of untested anesthetic, which actually sounds like a good time to me. I don't know. So with Ollie and Mariner, they're searching for the view screens when they find some anti-cube propaganda owned by an orb. They interrogate him and do a good cop, bad cop thing. While they're talking in the hallway, the orb escapes. And their good cop, bad cop thing was pretty fun. I liked it. It was, it was it was pretty good.
Yeah, it was just mostly just like, it was kind of almost like insane cop.
Yeah.
Because Ollie is just like, losing her mind.
All cops are insane, but, because they take a job as the working class to fight against the working class. So, yeah. So, with Boimler, he regrets all of his flipping practice in low gravity. He admits that he's trying to get Dr. Tiana to invite him to her book club. He wants her to curse at him like she did with alternate Boimler, which he says is how she shows respect. He realizes that he needs to speak her language and curse at her. So he tries, and instead she threatens to beat him up for cursing at him and then beats the shit out of him. Which, I don't know, feel like would be an issue if you're, your doctor's beating up your junior lieutenants for no reason. So, Mariner and Ollie chase after the orb that just escaped into the meeting room, which is filled with orbs, cubes, and Freeman. Ollie suggests a cube was murdered, and this incenses the cubes. An orb says their child is also missing. Freeman suggests that maybe they just got lost. The orbs and cubes begin to fight. Orb fight. Cube fight. Everything's going good tonight. That's my rendition of Saturday Night's All Right for Cube Fighting by Sir Elton John.
Oh, I love that.
It sucks. As the orbs and cubes battle, everyone tries to hide from their firepower. Mariner finds the missing computer, and it's in Ollie's locker. Dun 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 dun. So Mariner accuses her of killing the cube. But she thought she'd be blamed for killing the cube, so she hid the computer. Ollie shows Mariner her superpower, which is turning objects into lightning bolts, which is why she got kicked off of her previous assignment. Mariner has sympathy, and they continue their investigation. So, the battle continues raging between the orbs and the cubes, and Starfleet members start getting caught in the crossfire. Mariner tells Ollie that she believes in her, and Ollie uses her powers to stop the battle, but she takes on too much power and starts shooting lightning everywhere, which is kind of what happens with my cum sometimes. If there's too many people around, I start just coming uncontrollably, which is really bad for business meetings.
If you have a backup and haven't let loose in a couple days.
Yeah, I'm plugged up, and that's what I say in the meetings. I'm like, I'm plugged up, folks. I'm gonna start shooting, and they're like, "This is not appropriate. This is not appropriate at all." And I'm like, "I'm shooting."
It's like the dried Elmer's glue around the tip.
It is just like that. I've got just dried semen all around the tip of my dick at all times.
It fires out, sometimes it can take out an eye.
Right. And if you twist the head a bunch, then like it just shoots out all the glue.
You bring people over and they're like, "Why do you have an eye wash station in your bedroom?" You're about to find out. There's gonna be particles in your eyes.
Hell yeah. So the cubes terminate their alliance with the orbs, and the cubes become larger versions of themselves in space, as well as the orbs. The orbs and cubes both like form together to create a really large orb and a really large cube, and the Starfleet members are like, they don't have any creativity whatsoever. I thought that was pretty fun. So Ollie...
they could have made any number of things. They chose just to...
bigger versions of themselves.
I kind of feel like that makes sense, because it's like that's how they understand life.
Yeah. It makes sense for the cubes, because the cubes can stack. I don't know about the orbs, though. That doesn't really make a whole lot of sense to me, but that's
no.
So Ollie blames herself for this entire thing, but realizes she should be in engineering instead of trying to be a god. So, on the bridge, shields are 20%, and Mariner and Ollie try to come in to help, but Freeman tries to kick them off before realizing that Ollie has a viable solution using tractor beams. She puts her plan into action and reduces the giant forms back into their component members. Suddenly, the missing orb and cube come in and ask what's happening. They've been together. Because they're lovers. They've been fucking. This shocks both the cubes.
A star-crossed lover's tale.
Yeah.
A tale as old as time.
A Star Trek cross lovers, if you will.
Oh, Star Trek cross lovers. Wow, damn it.
Right. So this shocks both the cubes and orbs, and they say... and they're like, what about like the residue on the wall? And they're like, oh, leaving evidence is part of our kink, which it was the funniest joke in the entire episode. I laughed out loud at that one. That was pretty fun. They also have a child, and it's a dreidel-shaped thing called Squaredon. Squaredon. So this brings the spheres and cubes together, and they agree to peace talks. Aww. Oh, it was a child that brought them together. Oh. So, over with Dr. Tiana, she heals Boimler from a lodged lightning bolt and says this report is going to be legendary. Boimler wants to go rest for several days, but Tiana curses at him and insists that he come to her book club, which was his aim all along. Oh. Tendi and Rutherford come in and realize that staying true to himself was wrong, and you've always got to try to copy someone better, which I thought was a great lesson, to be honest. That was pretty fun.
Also, yeah, he did get his nickname. He didn't get be called Flip, but he called Fucko.
Yeah, Fucko, which is a pretty cool nickname. I'm not going to lie. I like Fucko. I'd love to be called Fucko. Do you have any fun nicknames? Oh, yeah, you do, actually. You have, like, my favorite nickname of all time.
hoe bags?
No. When we were working a line one time, you were like, yeah, at my old place, they used to call me Patrick Dowie.
Oh yeah.
And I like guffawed at that. I almost cried laughing when you told me that. That was yeah.
I was called Patrick Dowie. In high school I was known as hoe bags.
Cool.
Yeah, God, I haven't thought about hoe bags in a long time. Damn.
Yeah, that makes sense because your last name's Hoey, Hobags.
Yeah, so hoe bag.
Yeah, I recently received the nickname Thawk, and it seems to stick. Thawk.
What's the origin of that?
They them cock. That's all I'm good for.
It sounds like a barbarian's name.
It kind of does. It sounds pretty cool. Oh.
Yeah. I'm Thawk.
Yeah. I liked it. Yeah, that's a couple people call me that now, and I'm like, yeah, that's a fun name. I like that a lot. Keep calling me that. That is, I am just a fuck stick. Please don't recognize my personhood.
I'm just Thawk.
Yeah. Oh, true. Like, I'm just, yeah, that's a good point. So, Freeman tells Ollie that there is a place for her on the Cerritos in engineering, and sends her down to work with Billings. Ollie says she's never felt so supported before. But first, she's spending a night in the brig for her insubordination. Ollie says Mariner is nothing like her, but Mariner decides to keep her company, much to her chagrin. The end. End of the show. How'd you like this one?
I liked it. Like, I think, like, I know, the leaving the mess, as part of their kink was your favorite part.
Mm-hmm.
My favorite part was when Tiana's removing the lightning bolt, and there's just like little pieces, and then just like the entire chunk at once that just comes out of his ass.
Yeah, that was pretty fun. That was a pretty fun visual gag.
Yeah. I don't know why, like, in the future they don't utilize like transporters to remove foreign objects from people's bodies.
It's a great question. They could just literally put them in the transporter and be like, only
filter out like
non-genetic material.
Non-genetic material.
Yeah, so.
Or I was thinking just like focus the transporter beam on the thing in his ass. And just like,
what if they transport all of his precious poop out?
That's true.
He's like, wait, I wasn't gonna flush.
Yeah. Now I'm never gonna win the work poop contest.
Right? I had the biggest, smelliest one going too. I've been brewing that baby for 5 days. I've been doing heroin just to keep it packed in.
That was one thing when my brother was in the hospital after getting blown up, and he was on so many painkillers.
Mm-hmm.
He had such a high tolerance to painkillers.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't poop for 2 weeks.
Well, that sucks.
Yeah, and they did a X-ray on him, and the X-ray you just see like so much poop.
Dude, my brother, one time, when I was first working at Whole Foods, working at the Bellevue location before we worked together, I get a call from the hospital out of nowhere and be like, is this Britton Straw? And I'm like, yeah. And they're like, you're Beck Straw's emergency contact. We need to inform you that he's been hospitalized. And I'm like, whoa, what the fuck? So like, I'm like, tell my boss, I'm like, hey, listen, chef, I need to like go like right now. My brother's in the hospital. No idea why. I get there and they're like, yeah, we're still not sure what's wrong. He was like, his girlfriend found him like writhing in pain on the floor of the bathroom. And they're like, we're still trying to figure it out. It's something internal. We're just crossing things off the list right now. So like an hour later, they come in and are like, yeah, so like the results came back and it's just impacted feces in his colon. I'm like, excuse me? And they're like, yeah, he's just like severely constipated and he's got a bunch of feces up there. I'm like, So he's full of shit.
Yeah, you could be like, wow, you weren't even sick. You were just full of shit.
Yeah, right. But he was like so high on painkillers. He was just like babbling incoherently about Pokemon. It was really weird. It was kind of funny.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. That was fun though.
I'm always worried about being on painkillers and saying weird stuff like when I had my wisdom teeth out.
Mm-hmm.
I can't imagine what I was saying.
Yeah, that anesthetic they give you for the wisdom teeth really fucks you up. I went on like a hour-long journey, just staring at the lights as they were like spinning around in different colors, and explaining to my brother how Z is the funniest letter.
It is.
It's a pretty funny letter. It's zany, man. Z. It's like one of the only letters you can just like indefinitely say over and over, like zzz. You can't do that with like T. You can't go t. It doesn't work. You can't do that with. You can do it with like M, N,
O,
ooh, O. No, that one doesn't really work though, because it goes O and like the sound changes. You have to go O. Because it goes from O to ooh, you know? O.
Then like Z, if you do it too long, it becomes E. Z.
You don't do Z, though. You don't say Z, you say Z. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, I got you.
Yeah. Whereas E, elongated, is just the letter. It's E, not E.
Okay. So yeah, it had to be like E.
Right. I don't even know what I'm talking about here. This is like one of the dumbest conversations I've ever had. I'm sorry. We are both objectively dumber for having had this conversation, Pat. Like we are lesser human beings at this point in our lives.
I feel like simultaneously, even though we're on two different coasts, there is like some sort of like there's a gas leak in both of our
yeah, we're both on that fucking anesthetic, man.
It's one of those like funny coincidences that happen in life where it's just like we both have a gas leak at
or
the same time.
You just have a gas leak and I have some weird black mold that's just infected my brain.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, Washington does have a lot of black mold.
Mm-hmm.
With moisture level.
Yeah, that black mold is what killed Brittany Murphy and her husband.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Weird mold outbreak in their house, and they just died.
That's awful.
I know.
Yeah,
King of the Hill will never be the same. I know, yeah.
Like King of the Hill's coming back. It will have Lou Ann in it.
Mm-hmm. Bum, 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 bum. Yep.
So, like, and the one Lower Decks episode, the guy who did the voice of the admiral that just wanted to vacate, go on the vacation spot. That was the guy who did the voice of Cotton. And
oh, was it?
Con.
Oh, it's wild. Yeah. Cotton's worst sitcom dad of all time.
Yep.
Real piece of shit. Says maybe like Archie Bunker.
Well, I guess you can't count Worf. It's not a sitcom.
No.
Worf's pretty.
Yep. Yeah, so that's that episode. It wasn't as good as the last few episodes. It wasn't like a solid 8 or 9 out of 10. It was all right. I had a few laughs here and there. Ultimately, it kind of felt a little bit like a throwaway episode, though. I'd go for like a 6.5 out of 10. It was all right. Yeah.
A-okay.
Yeah, would you rate it?
Yeah, I mean, I think probably 7.5.
7.5? Yeah, fair. All right. Well, you got anything else to say on this bad boy?
No. Just looking forward to seeing more episodes. Got like what?
4 more episodes left. 7, 8, 9, and 10, baby. That's all. That's it for fucking Lower Decks. That's all, folks.
Lower Dicks.
Lower Shreks. Ooh, there we go. Yep, that's all I got to say on it. So, thanks for listening, everybody. If you enjoyed the show, if you'd enjoy the show. If you enjoyed this show, please like, rate, and subscribe wherever you get podcasts. And, of course, check out our Patreon at patreon.com/dumbidiotbs. My name has been Britton.
I'm Pat.
And you've been listening to Mother Freaking Soy Trek. Thanks for joining us, everybody.
Thanks for checking with the soy boys, girls, and other willy beans.
Hang a dong and a shaka.
Soy, 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 soy. Soy, 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 soy. Soy, 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 soy. Soy, 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 soy. Soy, 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 soy,